You have it inside you. You have the killer instinct. The Michael Jordan instinct. Give me the ball the last 2 seconds of the fucking game. What most people don't realize, he failed more than 65% of his final shots he made in a game. But he's known for clutch shooter. You don't have to hit every ball out of the park, kids. But if you're not standing on the pitch, on the crease, or in the batter's box for American baseball, how can you hit the fucking ball? You can't, right? Bruce Whipple and 5 others, Hall of Famers from 1994 QLA One Day Seminar. Question, what will you say to your kids, grandkids, 25 years from now? Gee, kids, I had the opportunity, but I didn't because I was afraid of being a snowflake, coward all my life. I'm sorry, can you forgive me? Well, there's, 30 people in there maybe? 25 people? 20% of them have created billion. That's a pretty high percentage. Will you be? The question is, will you be? Whipple hasn't aged. I hate him for that. At the one day, the fucking asshole. He looks about the same. Still doesn't have any fucking gray hair. A little fatter, but that's about it. But they were wearing suits 25 years ago. We were still in the suit mode. I used to give this seminar one day. Start at 7 in the morning. Seminar was 7 till 7 at night. Q&A was from 7 to whenever you ran out of questions. 1, 2, 3 in the morning. The seminar was one day. And I know a couple of you have talked to Whipple. He's a good guy. Now, when you're recruiting your board members, and this is in the script, but I highlight these things because, contrary to, you're not going to read everything. When you're interviewing the board members, one of the magic questions at the end of the interview, remember, you're interviewing them. Is there anything in your life, in your past life, sir or ma'am, that may preclude us from getting a finance completed? That's asking them, have you been involved in some shite that's embarrassing that's going to come up and that we're not going to be able to get the B of A or whoever to approve the loan? And that's why when they go like this, you know the answer. Or if they say, oh, how far back are we going? You know the answer. Or they say, I was a unconvicted co-conspirator. That means you had a good lawyer, you got off. And some of the board members, you can't take them if they've had any problems. They have to be whistle clean. And in some of your cases, if you've been bankrupt, if you've gone to jail for a felony, doesn't mean you can't use this program, but you got to disclose it. And right now, for those of you that fall into that category, you tried all your life to make it undisclosed. But if a bank brings it up, or a law firm when they're doing the due diligence about you, or an accounting firm when they're doing the due diligence, you're dead. So you got to tell them just about everything except espionage. Espionage, you can't, there's no forgiveness for espionage, spying. Yes, that's a problem. Depends on what it was for. That's a problem. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's a problem. So what you don't want is when you finally have that board meeting, and let's say it's past Corona and you're actually in a meeting, and your lawyers are putting together the incorporation of the limited companies, whatever, and the lawyers say, we have a problem, and it's you. And then that's the perfect time for them to take the knee. And they'll kick you to the curb like a piece. But there's ways of working around that. But you got to get it out on the table. This is not something that you hide. And, they say your record's clear bankruptcy after 7 years, 11 years, whatever, something like that. Bankruptcy never goes. You can get it done with a bankruptcy, but you got to get it out on the table. You don't want them to bring to you your discretion because your credibility goes in the toilet. But we've got, some pretty unsavory characters that have done deals. But as long as it's full disclosure, and especially in today's world, they forgive you for everything. I don't believe in that. I don't forgive you for everything. But now he was a kid. He was this, he was that, But virtually, my generation, you're pissing in the wind trying to convince them that you're all at least one generation or 2 generations younger than me. And now they forgive you for almost pedophiles. Pretty hard to get people to forgive you for that. But other than that, you can get away with you can get away with murder. And I have. Not me personally, but some of the kids. But full disclosure, I don't know if you were raised, my parents used to tell me, when in doubt, tell the truth. And I've kind of lived that way. But the truth coming out of my mouth can be some ugly shit, but it's boded well for me. And get the best lawyers you cannot afford. The best lawyers you cannot afford. If you can afford the lawyer, he's not good enough. You want guys that get fucking Saddam Hussein off the hook in the world court. That's the kind of guy you want. And those are the kind of guys I've used. Now, we all know that the world's going to shit because of interest rates, debt, oil. And by the way, the first electric car was in 1838. The first gasoline, petroleum car was in 1841. If we wanted electricity, don't you think in almost 100 years, we could have figured it out? Other than Mr. Tesla, who I have a lot of admiration, I've never met him, we share the same doctor. World-class doctor that I have, he's London-based. If it wasn't for Tesla sticking his foot up the ass of the automotive industry, we wouldn't have electric. You know when we're going to have electric cars that fly and hover, that kind of shit? When Saudi Arabia runs out of oil. You know when Saudi Arabia is going to run out of oil? In about 500 years. Some people say never. This is an exaggeration. You stick a straw in the ground, oil comes. Their average cost per barrel is less than $2 a barrel to get it to the surface. Sour, $2. North Sea, to get it to the surface, 80 pounds. Call it $100. America, fracking, $50. Ain't gonna happen. One of the reasons that both Bezos of Amazon fame and Elon of Tesla fame want to go to Mars, and we're going to give you something tomorrow night to read because they say the human race is through. Because we are. Now, are they through in 10 years? No. Are they through in 50 years? No. Are they through in 100 years? Probably not. Are they through in 300 years? Yeah, we're through. The Romans had their day, and all these guys had their day. So we had a good run, but you're going to still be alive. There's no reason why you can't get rich and, debauch and rape, pillage, and plunder in the meantime. Hitler was right. We need less people. It's inhumane. He killed the wrong people. He was killing all the smart Jewish scientists, bankers. He should have killed somebody else. And it's tragic what the world is gone through. Now the odds are the youngest guy in the room is what, 23? Okay, 23. So I'm 50 years older than he is, more or less. Not more, not less. 50 years older than he is. And even though Corona, there'll be another Corona. We have too many people on the planet. We wouldn't be crying about running out of water and food if we had 2 billion people on the planet, would we? But it's going to be hard to find a political party that's going to promote euthanasia. That's not going to happen. But we have too many people. The planet wasn't, and if you talk to the rocket scientists and these kind of people, there's contingency plan for less people. There's not contingency plans for more people. Yet, there's the kids for the most part. See, I don't get rich and save the world with your money. I'm not going to save the world with my money, but I'm indirectly allowing you the opportunity to get rich to save. That's fine if that's what you want to do. That's not what I don't get it. If I die tonight, I hope the world ends tomorrow. Say it again. If I die tonight, I hope the world ends tomorrow because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about my grandkids. I don't give a fuck about my children. That's just it. I'd be a liar if I said anything. And yet, everybody still loves me. How is that possible? How? It's incongruent for somebody that doesn't give a shit about anybody else, that wants the world to end, to be so fucking popular. How is that possible? How? Answer me. Excuse me, go ahead. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No. Smart people, Konstantin Gratsos, the CEO of a NASA shipping line, said smart people should be afraid of me. Because if you have something I want, I will take it. Elon Musk is no different. Jeff Bezos is no different. Bill Gates is no different. Andrew Carnegie was no different. Henry Ford I was no different. Rockefeller, etc. were no different. You only have to be 5% of me to get super rich. 5%. You don't get generational wealth by accident. You understand that? Generational wealth is wealth that you would build up over 20, 25 years. A generation. We do it in 3 years if you do everything right, like Josh did. 5 years if you're average. 7 years if you're thick as shit. You have it inside you. You have the killer instinct, the Michael Jordan instinct. Give me the ball the last 2 seconds of the fucking game. What most people don't realize, he failed more than 65% of his final shots he made in a game. But he's known for clutch shooter. You don't have to hit every ball out of the park, kids. But if you're not standing on the pitch, on the crease, or in the batter's box for American baseball, how can you hit the fucking ball? You can't, right? And you just gotta keep swinging. Babe Ruth, until recently, or 4 years ago, led the National Baseball Association for strikeouts. He has not played baseball in 80 fucking years. Yet he still led the statistics for the most strikeouts. Because the fat tub of shit, womanizing alcoholic bum, apparently that he was, swung at every fucking ball. Compared to that, I swing at everything. Some people used to say I fucking think. That's not true. Some people would say Dan would fuck a snake if he held its tail. Now that's a goddamn lie. I've never fucked a snake in my life. But I thought this was put there for a reason. Now there was a theory back in the 60s that a man could only have about 30 35,000 orgasms. This is a true story. I'm not bullshit. I just thought of it. 30 to 35,000 orgasms. 30 to 35. I was going to run out. I went to dick doctor. I thought I'd run out. 35. The most I've ever heard is Mick Jagger said 7,000. I just get away from it. I mean, I did 7,000 while I was still in puberty. Just think a snake. Jump on it. Okay.